and welcome our blood viewers to watch this news English edition. As usual, we begin tonight's news with the major and top highlights. Let's follow. The fifth public sitting on the second ordinary session of the National Assembly was held today. And on the international scene, a gas agreement between Libya and Italy for the exploitation of gas fields of Libya. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The National Assembly held, in accordance with Article 22, Paragraph 1 and 2 of the Rules of Procedure, the fifth public meeting of the second ordinary session of the year, marking the end of the eighth legislature. The plenary was chaired by His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Ali Humad, Speaker of the Parliament, and with the participation of the Prime Minister, His Excellency Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, parliamentarians and members of the government. On the agenda of the first plenary session, the adoption of legislative texts were as above. First, Bill number slash 177 slash N slash 22nd slash 8th L on the ratification of the agreement establishing the Smart Africa Alliance by the Republic of Djibouti. Bill number 179 slash N slash 22nd slash 8th L on the approval of the 2020 financial accounts of the National Agency for State Information System. Bill number 180 slash N slash 22nd slash 8th L approving the 2021 financial accounts of the National Agency for State Information Systems. Bill number 182 slash N slash 22nd slash 8th L on the approval of the financial accounts of the International Society of Hydrocarbons of Djibouti, which is also known as SIHD, for the fiscal year 2021. Bill number 183/N/22nd/8th L on the approval of the financial account of the People's Palace for the fiscal year 2021. Bill number 184/N/22nd/8th L on the approval of the financial account for the National Printing House for fiscal year 2020. Bill number 185/N/22nd/8th L on the approval of the financial account of the National Printing Office for fiscal year 2021. Bill number 189/N/23rd/8th L to approve the financial account for the agency Arilos for fiscal year 2018. Bill number 187/N/23rd/8th L on approving the financial account for the agency Arilos for fiscal year 2019. Bill number 188/N/23rd/8th L to approve the financial account of the agency Arilos for the fiscal year 2020. Bill number 189/N/23rd/8th L to approve the financial account for the agency Arilos for the fiscal year 2021. Bill number 190 and 191/N/23rd/8th L approving the financial account of the RTD for fiscal year 2020 and 2021. Bill number 192, 193, 194/N/23rd/8th L approving the financial account of the National Agency for Persons with Disabilities, which is also known in short as AMPH, for fiscal year 2019-2020. Draft Law number 195/N/23rd/8th L on the ratification of the financing agreement between the Republic of Djibouti and the Islamic Development Bank. Draft Law number 196/N/23rd/8th L on the ratification of the financing agreement between the Republic of Djibouti and the World Bank. Draft Law number 197, 198, 199/N/23rd/8th L on the approval of the financial accounts of the Djibouti Agency of ADR Roads for the fiscal years of 2019, 2020, and 2021. Draft Law number 198/N/23rd/8th L approving the financial accounts of the ADR for the fiscal year of 2020. Draft Law number 199, finally, /N/23rd/8th L approving the financial accounts for ADR for the fiscal year of 2021. The President of the National Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Muhammad Ali Humad, before adjourning the session, did not fail in his tradition closing speech to thank all legislators and members of the government for the excellence of the work done. Still on the national news, as usual, the Minister of Interior, Mr. Saeed Nuh Hassan, received today in his office the different presidents of the political parties and members of the political parties, namely the President of the UNP party, Mr. Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed, and the President of the UDJ party, Mrs. Laya Ismail Gidi. The Minister first welcomed the President of the UNP coalition party and the President of UDG political party. After verification of the files by the subcommittee of the Minister in charge of eligibility, afterwards, the Minister of Interior handed over the final receipt of the President of the UNP political party and the President of the UDG political party after producing the receipts of the payment of the deposit of 500,000 francs per candidate at the National Treasury. The Minister of Defense of Djibouti, Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed, arrived this morning in Mogadishu, capital of Somalia. Upon his arrival at the international airport of Mogadishu, Aden Abdullah, the Minister of Defense, and his delegation were warmly welcomed by the Somali counterpart, Mr. Abdelgader Mohammed Noor. The Minister of Defense, as at the head of a strong Djiboutian delegation, including the Chief of General Staff of the Djiboutian Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, and several senior military officials of the Djiboutian Armed Forces. The Djiboutian Minister of Defense and his Somali counterpart had a first meeting in the VIP lounge. Several topics were during these talks, including ways and means to further strengthen the relationship of brotherhood between the Somali and Djiboutian people. The Minister of Defense, Mr. Hassan Umar Mohammed, recalled with force the unwavering support and unwavering determination of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Gelle, and the Djiboutian people to their brother in Somalia in their fight against the terrorist groups Al-Shabaab. The Defense Minister, Mr. Hassan Umar, and his counterpart had a virtual meeting with his Somali counterpart. During the meeting, the Minister of Defense thanked his Somali counterpart for the warm welcome he received. The Minister expressed the solidarity of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Gelle, as well as the Djiboutian people, to the government and the brotherly people of Somalia to defeat this terrorist group of Somalia. During the working meeting, several topics were also on the agenda, including the agenda of the summit of brother countries contributing troops in Somalia, but also the historical links and special relations between Djibouti and Somalia, the commitment of the Djiboutian Armed Forces in Somalia, and its role in the fight against terrorist groups Al-Shabaab was on the menu of their discussion. The Minister of Defense, Mr. Hassan Umar, to welcome the determination of the Somali Armed Forces that has led a merciless fight against terrorist groups Al-Shabaab. The Mini Grid Project lunch workshop was held at the Sheraton Hotel on January 30, 2023, and was attended by senior government officials and representatives of the United Nations Development Program. The event aimed to launch a project entitled Supporting Access to Clean Energy by Increasing Financial Sustainability and Encouraging Large-Scale Commercial Investment in Low-Carbon Mini-Grids in Djibouti. The Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, Mr. Mohammed Abdelgader Musa Hilim, and the Minister of Energy and Natural Resources, Mr. Yunus Ali Gedi, were present, as well as the UNDP President Representatives, Mrs. Emma Nguano. The objective of the project is to support access to clean energy by increasing financial availability and encouraging large-scale commercial investment in low-carbon mini-grids in Djibouti. The project launch was an opportunity to demonstrate the government's commitment to improving energy access and reducing carbon emissions in the country. Ministers stressed the importance of implementing sustainable energy solutions to meet the energy needs of the population and promote economic development. The Minister of Energy and Natural Resources also discussed the crucial role that renewable energy will play in the country's energy mix and how it can contribute to Djibouti's economic development. He outlined the government's plan to attract large-scale commercial investment in the low-carbon mini-grid sector and to increase the financial availability. In his speech, the Minister of Environment stressed the importance of clean energy to achieve sustainable development and reduce carbon emissions. He emphasized the government's commitment to improving access to energy and reducing its dependence on fossil fuels. An inauguration ceremony of the central headquarters of the BCIMR Bank after a small renovation in energy was organized this morning under the aegis of the Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Mr. Yunus Ali Gedi. The central bank building of the BCMR has been equipped with solar tiles on the roof to a design in its energy. About 78 kilowatts will be produced every year to make the building brighter and cooler. This will allow the BCMR to save on its energy expenses and out for a cleaner green energy in compliance with international standards. The renovation work was led by a company specialized in the matter called Somalec. The ceremony was attended by the General Manager of the BCMR, Riji Barek, the Deputy Director, Abdullah Ibrahim, and the General Manager of the Bread Group, Mr. Oliver Klen. On his side, the General Manager of Bread Group welcomed the Minister and explained a little the innovative project of the company in order to better manage its energy expenditure and to participate in the protection of the environment. The company has opted to use its solar energy resources. On his side, the general manager of Bread Group welcomed the minister and explained a little about the innovative project of the company to better manage its energy expenditure and to participate in the protection of the environment. The company has opted to use its solar energy resources, he said. For his part, the Minister of Energy congratulated the team of the group BCMR Djibouti for its commendable action and its innovations, and he invited the rest of the public, administrations, and parapublic or private to do the same. After a small renovation in Erigi, the central building of the BCMR has been equipped with solar tiles on the roof to design its energy. This is how the inauguration ceremony of the central headquarters of the BCMR was organized this morning under the aegis of the Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Mr. Yunus Ali Gede. About 78 kilowatts will be produced each year to make the building brighter and cooler. This will allow the BCMR to save on its energy expenses and out for cleaner green energy in compliance with the international standards. This renovation work was led by a company specialized on the matter called Somalek. Still on the national scene, on a Sunday, January 23rd, 2023, the atmosphere of the campus of the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Djibouti hosted a seminar on the theme of concrete standard, the basics in concrete troubleshooting concrete construction. In addition to the Director General of the Central Laboratory Building and Equipment, Mrs. Rahima Ahmed Musa, and the President of the University of Djibouti, Dr. Jama Mohammed Hassan, participated in the seminar. The directors of departments in charge of construction, construction companies, managers of concrete plants, engineering firms, professionals of the construction sectors, and academics. The seminar was led by Dr. Charles Nimai on the issue of the use of concrete and its complexity in the construction sector in Djibouti. First of its kind in Djibouti, the seminar was an opportunity for professionals of the sector and officials of technical institutions in charge of the construction sector to exchange and discuss with Dr. Nimai, president of the American Concrete Institute on concrete and its applications in modern construction.
On a toujours voulu comprendre.
Reactions took in place.
I'd like to thank the University of Djibouti, the Central Laboratory, to invite us such a great person from the United States of America. Nextly, I would like to thank Dr. Nay Charles for sharing with us his experience and knowledge in concrete field. This invitation or this meeting will not be the last one, and we hope that the university will have we will have many other meetings in the future.
The Ministry of Women and Family, in collaboration with NC, organized yesterday an awareness campaign on the misdeeds of the Internet in the National Union of Djiboutian Women. The aim was to organize sessions to highlight clear and reassuring information on the issues surrounding cyberspace while offering concrete tools to make it a space where children can be safe. The main objective of this event is to raise children's awareness through information about the dangers of the digital world. It is important to note today that the issue of young people and the Internet has become a real public health issue. In this perspective, the government has decided to make it a priority action in its agenda. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, bosses of the Italian hydrocarbon giant Eni and the Libyan national oil company NOC signed Saturday in Tripoli a historic agreement for the exploitation of two gas fields off the coast of Libya. This is the first major project developed in Libya since 2000 on two offshore fields capable of producing from 2026 between 750 and 800 million cubic meters of gas per day, said in a statement Eni, present in the country since 1959. Well, by this, our beloved viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.